Good morning. Good morning. It's only 10 a.m. on a Friday. Deadline's tomorrow. Deadline's in 25 hours at the time we're going live. How are you all doing? I know it's early. I know a lot of people are going to be at work in the UK, but I thought there was no point in doing a captaincy video this week. Spoiler alert, Salah's going to be everyone's captain again. It's just the way it is at the moment. Not a 25-hour stream. There will be another deadline. There'll be a deadline stream tomorrow, and I know there's going to be press conferences later today. But I'll do the final thoughts video as well. So I thought we'd see if we got anything interesting. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of. Let's wait and see what happens in the press conference, right? But we'll try and get some questions done anyway. We just take a hit for Havertz to Jota. Depends like what the availability is. I mean, Havertz has got a knock, hasn't he? Or he's flagged. I don't think he played midweek. What's his knock? Hamstring injury. Yeah, I think you just have to wait and see. Like, if Havertz is out, then I probably would if you've got no bench option. I think long term Havertz has to go anyway, right? So definitely take that into consideration. Like if I had Havertz, I'd probably be looking at ways to get rid this week. But yeah, let's see. On hamstring injury, we'll be back for Watford. Yeah, the problem is, by the time Watford comes along, will Lukaku be back? Because if he is, I just don't know how much Havertz is going to play, basically. Let me bring up my team. I've not done my moves yet because I'm waiting for the press conferences, essentially. This is how I'm lining up, as it sounds. I don't even know if Harry Kane should be vice-captain. I'm that worried about Spurs. I know they changed some players last night, but it's not like they had awful players on the pitch. They were so bad. They were so bad. The red card obviously didn't help, but honestly, I switched off at halftime. I just couldn't watch it anymore. The football was pathetic, to be honest. And I think Conte's realised he's got a lot to do. By the way, can you imagine if Mourinho if after like 3 or 4 games now for Conte? Imagine if Mourinho after 3 or 4 games started saying the squad's just not good enough, which is essentially what Conte said last night. I know it's like a long-term... for Spurs fans, I hope it's a long-term plan. And like he was given assurances that the money would be spent. But yeah, 4 games in and it's like pulling his hair out. It was so bad. It was so bad. But I've got to stick it out with Kane next 3 games. No point in getting rid of him now. Especially not for hits. There's other stuff to be worrying about. Does the Jota price rise and the Antonio drop influence your decision making? Not really, to be honest. I mean, if anything, I guess it makes me more likely to keep... No, I don't think I ever really kept Antonio because of the price anyway. Like, I should still say, the only point that I considered selling Antonio was for Tony, and Tony's got 1 goal since then. So I haven't... Although Antonio's been rubbish, the replacement hasn't been much better. So I'm not really excited about having to play Antonio this week, but... Needs must. Like, there's just other stuff to do now. I've got Chilwell to worry about. Soon I'm probably going to want to get rid of Saka. I still want to figure out a way to get Jota in. Antonio's just like almost like the least of my worries. Like, some people got rid of him a while back and they've done really well. They spread that cash. Obviously, Antonio to Tony would have let me spend more cash. So maybe I would have had Reece James, for example. So I'm not saying in isolation that move was a bit... I should not worry that I didn't do it because there was more to it than just getting Tony in. But yeah, I'm not really looking to sell him, I don't think. I would if the transfer was right. But like this week, I just don't see what the benefit of selling him is now. Like if Foden's out, I'm just going to sell him I'm just going to go to Jota. And I tell you now, I'm probably doing Chilwell to Alonso regardless of how much money's in the bank. I'm going for Alonso over James. I know people will hate it, but it's happening. It's happening. Imagine if Alonso doesn't start. Imagine. We don't know how long Chilwell's out for yet. Is Chilwell going to play? I feel like there's almost no chance he plays this week. I really need to sneeze. Oh, where's my mic mute? Got there just in time. Just in time. What was I saying? Yeah, Chilwell ain't playing this week. I mean, they're talking about whether he's going to be out until the rest of the season or like to the end of the year. I did mute. I hit the mute button anyway. So it sounds like he's going to be out for at least the rest of this year, which is like 9 games. So Chilwell's gone. Chilwell is gone. Get ready for it. I mean, you don't have to sell him this week, by the way. If you've got a decent bench, you could easily bench him and play someone else and get rid of him next week. You don't have to go out of your way to sell him this week. But for me, I've got to do it. Play one from Cornet, Antonio, and Huang. Who have Burnley even got? Spurs. That's a good fixture. I think Huang's got Norwich. I think that would be my decision made, to be honest. If Foden is out, I'd need to play Livramento, Brownhill. Would you take a hit for either Chilwell to Alonso or Foden to Gallagher if Foden is out longer? I mean, I feel like I'd want Alonso for Man United and Watford over Gallagher, to be honest. I don't think Chelsea have confirmed anything with Chilwell, no. I could be wrong, but I don't think they have. I haven't seen anything, which would be surprising not to see it. I'm doing good, thanks. How are you? Good morning, everybody that's just tuning in right now. 1,400 people watching on a Friday morning. If Foden is out, I'll have to play Tony. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a big issue to me. That seems pretty good, to be honest. Cancelo or James? Cancelo or James? I mean, the way James is playing, it's very hard to look against him. But I do think the Man City fixtures are slightly better. And Cancelo is also pretty damn attacking too. I mean, it's probably James, but I think you can make a case for Cancelo. I really do. I mean, at some point they're getting rested. It's try and cool when it is. I mean, James might not even get rested for the Watford game. He might play. Should be working, far too easily distracted by the streams. Yes, make sure you do your work. Simply FPL, thank you very much, member, for 3 months. When can we expect a rendition from you on one of these Twitter talent spaces? Absolutely never. I have no talent. Got no talent whatsoever. Loz, how is it going? Your thoughts on Duffy, Chilwell, and Fornals for Reguilon, James, and Bernardo Silva? I don't know if you need to sell Duffy, to be honest. I mean, Chilwell to James, yes. Fornals for Bernardo Silva for free, yes. I mean, you obviously don't need the money because Duffy to Reguilon's an upgrade. So honestly, Duffy against Leeds, I'd probably play him, I think. I mean, Duffy's missed, what, 1 game so far, I think? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that. Is Reguilon an upgrade on Duffy? Is Reguilon an upgrade on Duffy? He probably is for the next 3. But I think for this week, I'd probably just play him. I think I'd play Duffy against against Leeds. Sorry, you took the risk on the James rise last night. I'm probably not getting James in anyway. Like, I'm probably going to get Alonso first. I don't know. I don't want prices to dictate it. Maybe if I haven't even checked. I have not even checked the price rises. If James is going to go up before Alonso, maybe I should get Alonso's price locked, obviously. So maybe I should get James first if I can afford it. But I don't know. There's just a big part of me that just wants. I just want Alonso. I'm not going to lie to you. I just want Alonso. Nailed up. I mean, I saw a great tweet last night from. Planetos FPL, who said Alonso is more nailed now than Chilwell was a week ago. I like that. It's probably true because Chilwell was probably going to get arrested for Alonso. Who's Alonso getting arrested for? I don't. Alonso is not pure nostalgia. Like, that is just false. I mean, the guy's already scored and assisted like in 6 games. He's got a goal and an assist, and he played Man City, Spurs, Liverpool, Arsenal. Alonso's still attacking. Alonso was red flagged, I think. So he was price locked. Ian, how's it going? Just landed in Dublin. I hope you've got a lot for a stag. I hope you got a lot of money. Dublin is expensive. There's like chill out for James. I won't be in any state to make it later. Yeah, just make it and go and enjoy the stag. Make that transfer. Log off and go and enjoy the stag in Dublin. Doy, how's it going? Yeah, I'm well. Hope you are too. Sam, Havertz to Jota or Shaw to James Alonso? I mean, Luke Shaw, Ralph Rangnick, it's coming in. I mean, or both for a hit. I mean, if Havertz is out, you could take the hit. If Havertz is fit and Lukaku's not fit, you could just keep Havertz though and just do the other move. But I think James and Alonso are big upgrades right now on Luke Shaw for sure. For sure. Price lock just means he can't rise in price before this deadline. I mean, it's not like it's not a love story with Alonso. He is just he is he's just FPL royalty. That's all. I hope that Stag knows that Dublin closes at 12 a.m. Yeah, good point. They've put restrictions back in Ireland. Is it 12? I thought it was 11:30. I thought it was 11:30. Maybe it's different in Dublin. I thought the rest of us. Anyway, enjoy the Stag. Rudiger to James. I don't think I'd trade Rudiger out. I mean, I get it. I don't know. Maybe I would if you haven't got Reece James, but I don't think you need to make that transfer. I'd find a different way to get James in. Or Livramento Johnson to Reguilon. I'd probably do neither of those moves. Just play Rudiger. If you have to do one, Rudiger to James. Anurag, use my free transfer on Chilwell to James. Thinking of taking a -4 to go from Rafinha to Jota. I probably wouldn't do that. Or Livramento to Alonso. Excuse me, Livramento to Alonso feels better, and do Rafinha to Jota later on, maybe. Any update on Foden? No. Obviously, I'm doing this before the press conferences. I'll do a video later on tonight once I've heard what Pep says, but I just can't do this stream later on this afternoon, so I've got to do it now. So no is the answer. Any thoughts on first sub to be Duffy or Janssen? I play Duffy. Like Duffy's such a threat from set pieces. I'd go Duffy. Ian, thank you very much for becoming a member. Much appreciated. James, thoughts on Antonio, Mbomo, Chilwell. Thoughts on Antonio, Mbomo, Chilwell to Locadia, Jota and Trent for a -4. Would still have 2 playing bench players. Do you know what? As long as you're okay with getting rid of Antonio and getting him back, which I don't think is a huge problem right now. Man City, Chelsea next 3. I think Jota's an upgrade on Mbommo, and Trent is. Yeah, I quite like that for a -4. It's a little bit of a restructure. You're getting in Trent, who is as close to must own as can be, without saying he is must own, because people really get annoyed about that. And Jota's good, so yeah. Aubameyang or Vardy next 4. Probably Vardy, although I've got my eye on Aubameyang for later on, not now, but later on around game week 16, 17. So I think Vardy next 4. Otherwise, recommend a striker. There isn't too many strikers right now to recommend, to be honest with you. Like, if you've got the money for Vardy and you've got other, like a decent squad, like Vardy is going to tie up a lot of your money, so it depends what kind of future transfers you want to make. So just keep that in mind. Otherwise, you could get Jimenez for 2 weeks. Like, it's not. There isn't many strikers out there. You could just go down to King and spend the money elsewhere. You could go down to Benteke and spend the money elsewhere. Shall I finally part with Ronaldo? I actually spoke about Ronaldo on this week's game week preview, because once again I was asked, but I feel like Ronaldo owners really want to get rid of him, but they just haven't got that opportunity. Every week, should I get rid of Ronaldo comes up. I mean, he's got 6 returns in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. I think after Chelsea away, the fixtures aren't too bad. Like I feel like, for me, it's not even a question of like getting rid of Ronaldo. It's, do you want to restructure your squad a little bit? Because if you get rid of Ronaldo, I don't even know if I would go straight to Kane. I don't know. I would probably just spread the money around now. I don't know. Chelsea away, and then you possibly got a new manager coming in, new ideas, and good fixtures. Unless you got something major you want to do, honestly, I'd probably be tempted just to hold a couple more weeks. But I feel like if you make the decision to hold this week, you're holding him for a few weeks. You're not just holding him for Chelsea and then selling next week. Do you know what I mean? So you really need to decide what you want to do with that spot. Drew, take a hit to remove Rafinha. No, I don't know why you do that. I think he's available, right? So yeah, I don't think a hit is worth it. FPL Pig, thank you very much. Thanks for the content. Good luck this game. Good luck to you too. Go and follow FPL Pig on Twitter and listen to his songs. Just hope that he has a bad game week. Does that make songwriting better? Don't all singer songwriters don't they just sing about their bad times? So yeah, not. I hope you get a green arrow. Is Van der Beek essential? No, I think Van der Beek, right? Van der Beek is the Kagawa effect right now because he's not playing. Man United fans are. I still don't really know how good Van der Beek is because he's not played that much, and when he plays, he hasn't played that well. Like I've seen accounts like go mad, like, oh, why is he not starting? Why is he not playing? Because he played so well against Watford. I mean, that was Watford. Man United lost 4-1. It was a rubbish performance all round. Van der Beek did okay. He didn't do very well in the Champions League. I thought he looked a little bit lost, to be honest. And like people keep saying, well, he's going to play in the double pivot alongside Fred or McTominay or Matic, but that hasn't worked all season. So by the way, I'm not saying this is a bit of a rant about everyone else I've seen talk about Van der Beek, not your question. And I know you're only being tongue-in-cheek as well, but so he could be an option. I'm not writing him off. 5.7 million, of course. It's nice and cheap if he gets starts, so maybe he will. But we really need to see what Rangnick does over the next few games. Van der Beek, yeah, well, this is the problem, right? Van der Beek is awesome. He needs to be the most advanced midfielder. Well, welcome Bruno Fernandes. This is the problem. I kind of agree. He seems to need to be a bit further ahead and get a run of games, of course, like to get some momentum or whatever. But Fernandes is always going to play that. So people just want to put him in the double pivot because that's a place where they're happy to drop someone else without even thinking about whether it would work or not. And I'm not saying it wouldn't work. I don't know is the honest answer. This is getting a bit sidetracked from FPL now. I don't know, but people acting like he's going to come in and just change the whole squad. Like from the clips I've seen from Ajax, he did seem to be quite advanced, making runs in behind, etc., into the box. But you're not really going to do that when you're alongside Fred and McTominay and you've got defensive duties, right? He never gets to run a game. He's always going to be rusty. Yeah, I completely agree. And maybe Rangnick will come in and maybe he'll change things around. Maybe he'll like put his arm around him, get him playing, tell him he's going to get minutes. I'm not against getting him. I'm just saying I feel like from a non-FPL point of view, I think Man United fans are making out like Van der Beek is the saviour of that squad at times. It's the Kagawa effect. The more Van der Beek doesn't play, the more he's rated, basically. What's up with the black screen? Not sure what you mean. Luke, Alonso, Jota plus Icardia for Livramento, Saka and Tony -8. Yeah, that just doesn't sound like a good -8 to me. Saka's got Newcastle, Tony's got Everton. Like Jota and Alonso are good, but for a -8, that just seems too much to me. I mean, Icardia is obviously the make weight. I mean, you could do 2 of those moves maybe. I wouldn't necessarily do all 3 this week. Yeah, so I'm saying Van der Beek's not essential, yeah. You basically prompted a question that got me ranting about stuff I've seen on Twitter, essentially. Graft and Diamond, Ramsdale and Diaz or Edison and Shaw? Ramsdale and... To be honest, over the next few weeks, right, if Man United can somehow start like playing football properly, Edison and Shaw might score more points, but I just hate having a premium goalkeeper, so I'm going to say Ramsdale and Diaz. But realistically, I wouldn't have Diaz. I'd have Cancelo, Trent, Alonso, James, if possible. Do I believe in Kane? To a certain point, yes. To a certain point, yes. I feel like I just feel like there's some frustration coming, and the problem is for every game where he doesn't do like really well for me, my regret for not going Song gets more. Like Kane really has to do really well next few weeks. Van der Beek is a box-to-box, not a number 10. Yeah, okay, but the point still stands that he wants to be getting into the box. I just don't know if he's going to do that from a double pivot position in Man United. But again, maybe Ranić will... Maybe he'll change that around. If he even comes, right? It's not confirmed yet. It often takes 3 or 4 games in the starting lineup to find your form. We're seeing that with Sancho now. Van der Beek hasn't had a chance. Yeah, again, I'm not. I don't hate Van der Beek. Right, let's just get this guy. I don't hate him. I want him to succeed. And I want him to succeed more, not just because he's at Man United, but because I feel like the way he's been treated so far hasn't been fair at all. So I agree. Like, let him get into the team. Let's find a way to get him in. But I think a lot of fans think that just put him in a double pivot, problem solved. I don't know if that's true. I want to see it first. I would say I haven't seen much from him so far, but you're right. He hasn't had a run in the team. So let's see. But yeah, Sancho, trust me, all it took was 1 goal from Sancho in the Champions League, and I was like, right, how can I get him in? Because I've already kind of half considered Rashford. And if I'm already considering Rashford, I can, Sancho's cheaper. So game week 16 is a big week, or game week 16 or 17 is a big week, because that's probably one of the weeks. Yeah, he did it against Watford in a game we lost 4-1. We lost 4-1. That tells me defensively we weren't very good, and it was Watford. It was Watford, like one of the worst teams in the league. What happened when he played Villarreal? He wasn't very good at all. Anyway. This is the Van der Beek show now. Simply FPL has got a lot to answer for. What was I saying? Sancho, game week 16, spread that Kane money around. Good fixtures for Man United. New manager. You're damn right I want Sancho in my team. I'm going to seriously consider. I'm not saying I definitely will. I'll probably bottle it and go for someone a bit more template, but... Yeah, I kind of want Sancho. I avoided him from day one. It just obviously hasn't happened because he's not had the minutes at all. Man United have been rubbish. But I kind of want him. Yeah, everyone just push Van der Beek forward. Everyone just forgets Bruno Fernandes exists. Anyway, Van der Beek. No more questions about Van der Beek. I have James Azpilicueta and 2 free transfers. Thoughts on Reguilon or Alonso for Azpi? Alonso. Do you know what I think? Okay, so James is exceptionally good. Right, he's playing so well. He's brilliant. Everyone should have him. I'm not going to have him because I'm an idiot. But I feel like James is being overestimated so much that Alonso's being underestimated. It's like people forget how good Alonso is in attack as well. Reguilon versus Alonso, no contest. I mean, I know Reguilon's next 3 are slightly better fixtures, but Chelsea is a much better defence. They are in a much better position under Tuchel right now than Spurs are under Conte. It's not Conte's fault. It's just the situation Spurs are in. So I think if I'm doing Azpilicueta to Reguilon or Alonso, for me there is absolutely no contest. It's Alonso by a long way. Now watch Spurs get 3 clean sheets and Reguilon get a hat-trick or something. Would you swap Foden to Jota if no news on Foden from Pep? Possibly I will, yeah. I'm kind of itching for a reason to get Jota in. I feel like I'm the president of the Alonso. Someone needs to fight for Alonso this week. Reece James is getting too much love. For very good reasons, to be honest. James Benteke Cornet over Chilwell Antonio Kovacic for a -4. Am I mad? No. Bench will be Manquillo, Livramento and Gray. I mean, the bench is a bit questionable, but I guess if you swap Gray to someone better... I mean, Gray and Livramento is not a bad bench, right? To be honest. So I don't think you are mad. Cornet, nice little punt over Kovacic. Benteke, I mean, I still think that Benteke's not 100% nailed. He might miss the odd game, but right now he's playing really well. Palace have got good fixtures. It's not a bad punt either, and James is obviously great. Reguilon isn't even the best fullback. Is he not? Because I feel like I've watched Reguilon and Emerson Royale a bit, and I feel like Reguilon is, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, Cornet, I think Cornet's probably a player that's been overestimated a little bit, but I still think he's an okay punt. You could go for Gallagher instead, but he's probably I guess you don't want Benteke and Gallagher, right? That's why you're choosing that. I might take a hit, I don't know yet. Emerson Royale is, and after Doherty's performance last night, Royale is the most nailed right back in the country. You could be right there. In fact, you probably are right. Doherty was bad. What's happening in Game Week 16? What are the big game weeks to be planned around the next month or two? To be honest, I haven't really looked much past Game Week 16, but Game Week 16 is when Man United's fixtures get really good. Like in 15, they have Palace, but again, for a lot of people, most people seem to be doing Spurs to like Ronaldo, and Spurs have got Norwich in Game Week 15, so no one's going to swap. Maybe if Spurs keep playing as they have been, they might do, but you're not going to swap Spurs against Norwich for Man United against Palace, I don't think. It's also worth saying, right, obviously I got caught up in the excitement yesterday. Obviously I was kind of tongue-in-cheek tweeting about Man United player prices, when are we tripling up on them, etc. But realistically, if Rangnick is going to come in and play a high pressing game, like counter pressing, etc., then that is going to take time to work into these Man United players. I think Man United have got most of the players to do it. I think Sancho can press. I think Fernandes has got he's certainly got the work rate and the energy to do it. They just need a bit of direction, right? Because they haven't done that under Solskjaer. It's been like, in fact, I watched that interview with Rangnick this morning. I can't remember what it was called, but he was talking about how it doesn't matter whether you play pressing or not. I think I said this on Man United video recently. Right, it doesn't matter if you do pressing or not. But you need to know what you're doing. I think Man United just don't. They're kind of trying to do half and half. They don't really know what they're doing. So it's going to take time to drill that into the players. But the good thing is, like, as good as Conte is, obviously he's got a worse squad. Like, Rangnick's coming into a much better squad at Man United. Obviously, there's still some issues with it. Defensive midfielder, I still think Wan-Bissaka long term could be changed as well. But other than that, it's pretty good. But it's going to take some time. Gallagher or Rafinha in the short term. I feel like. I really want to say like Rafinha's just not good, but he just is good. Like, I think is it Spurs away and then Brentford and Palace at home. I know. Like Spurs. No, sorry, hang on. He's just played Spurs. Who is it this week? Is it Brighton? Yeah, it's Brighton away, isn't it? Yeah, Brighton away, and then I think it's Brentford, and then then it's Palace, then it's Brentford. Yeah, I knew the games, so I couldn't get them in order. I feel like that's okay. Like, I think his numbers are just so good. Like. I still don't know what to make of Gallagher. He's been brilliant. He's keeping his high numbers. They're the same as they're around the same as Rafinha's now. I don't know if like Eze and stuff coming back is maybe going to change things a little bit. I don't know. I can only speculate. Let me just check Palace's next 3 fixtures. They play Leeds in there. Is it Villa then Leeds? I can't remember exactly. Yeah, Villa then Leeds and Man United away. I feel like if I had Rafinha, I wouldn't swap to Gallagher. Unless I really, 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 really needed the money for some like really important move. Yeah, Leeds fixtures do turn. The thing is, this is for Ted, right? Ted, I think, is buying this week. So that might be a little different because after the next 3 fixtures, it is as bad as it can get. Like, it doesn't get much worse than Chelsea away, Man City away, Arsenal home, Liverpool away. The only thing is, it's over Christmas. Rafinha's absolutely nailed on to play every single one of those games unless he's injured. But so far, I haven't seen a reason why Gallagher's going to get dropped either. So I think over Christmas, Gallagher's fixtures are better. So over the next, like, 1, 2, 3. Over the next 6, I think Gallagher could outscore Rafinha. But in the next 3, I wouldn't back against Rafinha, to be honest. And I hope that probably doesn't help at all. But there you go. Cedric, thanks for the content. Thank you very much. Why do people type in caps and think it will help? I've got no idea. You think I wouldn't read it out, would you? It's weird seeing your team without Rafinha. I know. I'm still sad about that move. I feel like that move was like the downhill of my season. I mean, still top 100k. Like, it's not awful, but yeah. Won't Gallagher play more deep with others come back? That's the thing. I don't know. I mean, I can speculate that's the case, but he's got so much energy. Like, his legs, his running capability is so high. Could he still be box to box? Vieira might kind of shackle him a little bit, but I just don't know. I just don't know. What we've seen so far, both from watching him and his underlying numbers, his expected data. He looks pretty damn good. Honestly, 0.52 expected goal involvement was really high for a player that cheap. Now, will he keep that up? I'm still skeptical about whether he can keep that up. So if someone for the next 3, I would go Rafinha. Because you know what you're getting with Rafinha. You know how good he is. He's, his underlying data is the same this year as it was last year. So it's a large sample size. Hopefully Bamford will be back soon. I'm not convinced he's going to be back this week or next game because it's a quick turnaround. I don't think Bielsa said when he was going to be back, but he's not back yet. Antonio worries me whenever he's sprinting down the pitch. I hope he doesn't get injured. Yeah, no, I'm exactly the same. I just think just hold the hamstrings. Hold the hamstrings. I do. I got to be honest. Right, I do. It is looking like a mistake not to have sold Antonio. And game week 18 probably is the time when most people will buy him back. I don't think everyone's going to rush out to buy him for Burnley. Tyler, Havertz to Jota and Diaz to Alonso from -4. Really want Alonso. I don't think it's worth a -4, to be honest. I think you could do the Diaz to Alonso move next week when Alonso's got Watford, possibly. You could do it if you really want him, but I don't think you need to take the hit. Right? Diaz's got a goodish fixture, possible for a clean sheet. Saka to Jota -4 or Rafinha to Jota for free. I mean, if I had to do one of those moves this week, I'd probably do Rafinha to Jota for free because Saka, although he's got Man United next week, I mean, Rafinha is better than Saka. Right? I said at the time I would have sold Saka if I had the money. But the fixtures for the next kind of 6 or 7 are pretty good, and Saka's fairly nailed on. So it's only Man United in game week 14 that's not great, and even that could be okay, right? So I don't. I get it because you really want Jota. I get it. I don't really want to sell either Rafinha or Saka, to be honest. You could do Saka. I don't think you don't take a -4 to sell Saka this week. I don't think. I think I'd possibly do Rafinha to Jota for free and just hope it doesn't come back to bite you. But let me tell you this: I really wish I had Rafinha still. I don't know if I would do either of those moves. Rafinha out doesn't seem great. Although Jota is better than Rafinha this week, but I think next 3 for Rafinha to hold is fine. And Saka to Jota -4 just... I mean, I've thought about doing that this week. I just don't think it's worth it. Not against Newcastle at home. It's like one of the best fixtures you can get. Rich, thank you very much. Transfer plans regarding Jota. Maybe Foden to Jota if Foden's out. I'm not going to be able to stick around on the stream until Pep's press conference, but we'll have to obviously see what he says and go from there. Don't forget to give the stream a like, by the way. There's over 2,000 of you watching, so make sure you hit that like button. Let's get to 1,000 likes, and obviously subscribe if you're around here as well. Would you do Antonio and Gray to Hwang and Jota? Possibly. I just keep in mind that Hwang is quite short term. Like next 2 are good, and then it's pretty poor for Wolves. So it depends whether long term that kind of hurts your press conference, hurts your transplant. I just wrote press conference in the chat. No, I think Pep's quite open about his players, to be honest. He said De Bruyne was out. He said Grealish was probably out. He said Foden might or may not play in that last week. He didn't, and he did play. So I think Pep's fairly open. I mean, I think what a lot of people want him to say is, oh yeah, he's definitely started. But obviously that's never going to happen. But I think in terms of injuries, Pep's usually pretty good. We'll see this week. Rafinha to Jota or Stones to Alonso and bench Antonio. I think Stones to Alonso and bench Antonio. I don't know. Rafinha to Jota is a really hard one because who do I think is the better option over the next kind of, well, for a while until Firmino's back? It's probably Jota out of those 2. But Rafinha is such good value, and the next 3 fixtures aren't that bad. So I don't. I feel like Rafinha to Jota is only a move you make if you've got like almost like got the perfect squad, where you can genuinely make that upgrade. But like if you've got Stones, who you don't even know who's going to play week to week, then Stones to Alonso seems like a better upgrade than Rafinha to Jota. That's not to say that you shouldn't find a way to get Jota somewhere else, but in isolation, those 2 moves, like you got Rafinha, almost guaranteed to play next 3. To Jota, who, to be fair, is probably guaranteed to start, but doesn't necessarily make it to 90 minutes that often. Or Stones, who isn't going to play. So I think you do the second one. -4 in Bomo, Antonio. A lot of people got 2 free transfers. And Bomo, Antonio, Livramento for Alonso, Jota, Day. Yeah, I quite like it, to be honest. Someone else had a similar move. I think it's nice. I think, look, Mbomo could still come away with the goods at some point, and Antonio's like so good that he could score against Man City, but Man City are also so good it's going to be difficult. So I don't mind that -4. As long as you're comfortable getting with Antonio, do it. Saka is my first sub. Would you put him in for Hwang, Antonio, or Bernardo? I'd probably put him in for Antonio, I think. Not often I would do that, but I am starting Antonio, but don't let that change your plans at all, because the reason I'm starting Antonio is because I've got Livramento, Brownhill, and Omobamidele on the bench, and that ain't good. That ain't good. Benching Bomo, Wilson, or King. So I don't think you can bench. Hang on. Yeah, I don't think you can bench Callum Wilson. So it's one of the other two, and Bomber or King. I feel like King is playing the more difficult fixture, but then Leicester have not been great at all. He's away though, and Bomber's at home to Everton. King's numbers are ridiculous, but can he keep them up? He's a forward as well. I don't know. My gut feeling is to bench in Bomo, but I'm not necessarily happy about it, to be honest. I don't really have more than just a gut feeling on that. Like, if I just think it out, like, King's numbers are really good. I don't think you can keep him up that high. He could be on penalties. Leicester haven't been great, but they are probably the better team generally than Everton. And Everton could make it difficult. And Bomo's obviously hit the post about 1 billion times so far this season. Will he finally get a shot on target? I don't know. Will he even be playing up front? Possibly not. It might be a 3-4-3 or whatever. So, yeah, my gut instinct is to bench in Bomo, but I wouldn't be entirely happy about it, to be honest. But, basically, definitely start Wilson. Definitely start Wilson. Your bench is fine. Don't underestimate the attacking potential. My bench is awful. It's awful. Tune Jones, I bought Son in last week for a hit. Feeling like I should have waited and gone for Jota. Thoughts on moving Son out after 1 week? Nah. No, you just... Nah. No. Let's leave it at that. I don't think you can sell... I'm obviously not about to leave it at that. I don't think you can sell Spurs players, to be honest, this week. Or next week. Or the week after. I think you just ride it out. Obviously, yes, it would have been good to get Jota. Yes, Jota could outscore Son again this week because he's got a good fixture, but I think you just keep him. Stephen, how's it going? 2 free transfers. Chilwell to Alonso, James, and Havertz to Jota. Perfect. I'd like Jimenez for next week, but seems very short term. Correct. If you had to pick one between Jota and Jimenez, then where would you go? I think Jota, because if Firmino doesn't come back anytime soon, Jota keeps playing. Then it's African Cup of Nations. Jota keeps playing. I think you just keep him. I think he's the one to go for. Sorry, Jimenez is like 2 weeks, then you got to get rid of him again. And like, it's all well and good, like maybe saying, well, I'll get Jimenez, then I'll switch to Jota, but then it's another transfer. It's also switching money from a forward to a midfielder. It gets complicated. I think you just get Jota. Yeah, I think you just get Jota. I'm just thinking, how am I feeling about my team this week? So I think if I do Chilwell to Alonso for free, I can't do James for free, but I'd have to take a hit. I think the team looks pretty good. Who am I worried about? I'm worried about Reece James, of course. I'm worried about Jota. They're really the 2 players that I need to get. Alonso, Jota, and James are probably my main transfer considerations. It's hard to get to them, though, for me, with Kane. It's hard to get to all of them. Even if I did Foden to Jota, Chilwell to James, I've still got to take a hit. Like, I really want Alonso for Watford because I think he's just got more chance of starting than James. Like, James probably will start. But if I had to place a bet, I think I'd place it on Alonso. This is what I said to someone last night, right? If you're in the same position as me where you haven't already got Chilwell and James, right? I think if you buy James this week, then you probably find a way to get Alonso next week. If you buy Alonso this week, you probably find a reason not to buy James because of rotation next week. Does that make sense? Logically, it probably doesn't make sense, but that's where my head would be at. So maybe I should get James because then it forces me to get Alonso. But then it's another hit. Yeah, I don't know. Switch Chilwell to Alonso for a hit or start Antonio? I think you could just start Antonio and just do the move next week for free before Watford. Paul, I have Trent, Cancelo and Reece. We'll be downgrading Chilwell to 4.5. I have Trent, Cancelo and Reece. We'll be downgrading Chilwell to 4.5 and shifting funds into that. Which 4.5 million defender to go for? I mean, I'd be tempted by Lamptey if you've got two other playing outfield players. 4.4 million. Playing Leeds this week, not bad. Otherwise, you could just go for a Palace defender. There's not much upside there. Ben White has also got pretty good fixtures as well. Someone like I'd probably be looking at. I would have said Eric Dyer, but Romero's out. I just don't know about Spurs defence now. Not without much attacking potential, though he did take a direct free kick. That's off the top of my head. I can't think of any other 4.5. I mean, 8 Nuri for the next two fixtures would be quite good, but long-term fixtures aren't great. Start Brandon Williams or Antonio. I mean, Brandon Williams plays for Norwich, so there you go. Alonso or James in. I think James is like the safer bet, the more obvious bet, the one that's in great form, etc. So James is the sensible answer, but I'm probably going to go Alonso. Right, I think I'm going to leave it there because there's obviously lots of press conference news and stuff to come. And I'll be doing another video tonight anyway with any final thoughts. Hopefully, like I'm not trying to string it out or anything. I just I don't know. Remember I did that video with FPL Raptor, right, with Ross. And it was about biases at the start of the season, right? And I was on my walk this morning. And I was thinking to myself, do I genuinely think that Reece James is more likely to get rotated for Watford than Alonso? Or am I just telling myself that because deep down I really want to get Alonso, even though I know that between the two, Reece James is probably the better option? But I just feel like Alonso has got no replacement to play now at left wing back. Unless Tuchel just plays some random player there who could play there, right? In the same way that I said to someone on Twitter yesterday that McTominay could play right back, but he never has. Not for Man United anyway, as far as I know. So I don't know. I'm in two minds about that. I need to get my head together around it. I'm probably going to go Alonso though, if I'm honest. Mboma to Jota for -4. No, I probably wouldn't do that. I have Mboma on my bench and not showed the bench before. I have Cody, Reguilon, Son, Rafinha, Tony and Hwang. The only one I'd really consider there is playing him ahead of Cody, and I probably would. It's a good fixture for Cody, but I think I'd probably play Mboma. I never heard you talking about Mount. Mount's not even nailed though, is he, at the moment? Like Mount's just, yeah, not interested. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching. Please do hit that like button on the way out. I'll be back tonight with a video. I'll be back tomorrow with a deadline stream. We'll do it all over again. Obviously, hit that subscribe button as well if you haven't already. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you soon.